Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to press conference held by State Council Information Office. Today, we're delighted to invite Mr. Liu Sushe, Vice Chairman of the NDRC, Mr. Liao Min, West Minister of Finance, Mr. Xuan Changneng, Deputy Governor of PBOC, and they will brief you about the policies and data regarding the topic of investment, fiscal, and financial data and policies. And now, first give the floor to Mr. Liu Sushe. Friends from the media, good morning. I'm very happy to be part of today's press conference. I would like to first take this opportunity to express our gratitude to your support. And first, I give you the brief about the investment. In the recent years, NDRC has worked with relevant governments and earnestly implement the requirement arrangement made by the work report of the government and also the central economic finance and work. And we focus on the key projects building and also effectively enlarge and leverage the role of investment. For the first 2 months this year, investment in fixed assets increased by 2%. And 1.2 percentage points faster than the period last year. And deducting the investment in real estate, the fixed assets investment increased by 8.9%, showing a stable growth. And that showed the following highlights. First, we saw a rapid growth in the manufacturing sector. For the first 2 months, it increased by 9.4%, 2.9 percentage points faster than last year, and 5.2 percentage points higher than the average of investment in fixed assets. The fixed assets in the technology increased by 7%, 5.7 percentage points faster than the average. We're also seeing the new drivers. In high tech, it increased by 9.4%. Among that, investment in high-tech manufacturing increased by 10%, and that investment in services increased by 8.9%. And for the electric and telecommunication sector increased by 10.6%. Aero aviation equipment manufacturing increased by 33.1%. Third, we are also happy to see that the recovery of the investment by the private sector. The private sector's investment has taken the 52.6%, 2.2 percentage points higher than last year, and increased by 0.4%. So converted the negative momentum. The investment in manufacturing and infrastructure increased by 10.6% and 7.9% respectively. Fourth, regarding the infrastructure construction, it also acts as a pillar role. And investment in this sector increased by 6.3%, 0.4 percentage point faster than that same period last year. Investment in water conservancy increased by 5.7%. In rail sector and road sector increased by 27.3% and 8.3% respectively. And because of the policies in 2023 in terms of the government bond, and right now we have seen that the result delivered, and we will continue to leverage the policy tools such as the local government debt and other special debt, and we will also speed up the investment in different major projects. So we could like to see that the synergy happens between the government and the private cooperation and the loans. And we will also to accelerate the development of the urbanization with people-centered. And we hope to see that investments throughout this year could see a steady growth with a better structure. And that will also play a key role to support economic growth and recovery. Thank you, Mr. Su. I give the floor to Mr. Liao. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, good morning. I'm very glad to attend today's press conference. I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to your support and care about the work in the fiscal sector. I also would like to give you some updates in first 2 months regarding the revenue and expenditure. We have seen the revenue has continued the curve going up, we have seen the recovery with a steady opening of this year for the 2 months. That the general revenue is 4.46 trillion yuan, down by 2.3%. That we based on the comparable calculation, increased by 2.5%. Let me explain. Previous 3 years, we impacted by the COVID-19, so that also brought a lot of the quite complicated indicators to our calculations. So we have seen the demand fluctuation, and also fluctuation because of the tax and fee cut in order to respond to COVID-19. And according to international practice, we also need to deduct that the fluctuation caused by the sudden impact. So for the first 2 months, we saw the decrease because of the two things. First, the base number was quite high. So for 2022, the SMEs in manufacturing sector deferred a tax payment, so that's brought up the base number in 2023. And also the mid of last year, let's say August, we started the practice of the reduced part where the waiver of the taxes as the stamp duty, so that also brought the base number. And also we introduced the policies in terms of the reductions in R&D. So that's lowered the margin of growth for the first 2 months this year. So if we deduct these factors for the comparable indicators, that's for the first 2 months, at the general revenue increased by 2.5%, showing a recovery that's also in step with the macroeconomic recovery. And second, regarding fiscal expenditure, we have seen at the speed is going up, the increase by 6.7%. Finishing 15.3% of the goal set for this year, and is the fastest in the recent 5 years. For the education employment, the village urbanization development also saw rapid growth. For the major products, that's also well guaranteed. So for the fiscal expenditure, actually it has the aggregate and structural effect. So we believe that's conducive to the recovery of the macroeconomic growth and also driving the investment by different sectors. Going forward, we will continue to implement the work government requirements as well as central fiscal work, and we will also leverage the different policies and the tools in terms of fiscal and policy-wise. And we will also to work with different departments such as technology and environment, and we would like to create a synergy to boost economic development in a green and high-quality manner. For this year, we see more policies starting delivering results. We believe that will boost economic growth, will also play a role in supply-side structural reform, and also to increase the new factor, the productive factors. I believe that will lay a solid foundation for economic growth this year. Thank you. I will give the floor to Mr. Xue. Friends from the media, good morning, and thank you for all of you giving a great support and care for our work. And our PBOC has recently also adopted the fiscal maintaining flexible, appropriate, precise, effective policies, and fostering a favorable monetary and financial environment for the steady growth of the real economy. And we also should look at the steady growth in terms of the credit aggregate and structure. For MLF, open market operation That's also our focus. And then this year we also cut triple R, 5 BP, and releasing the 1 trillion yuan. Make sure that we maintain a sound liquidity, and we also got the fiscal market to release the loans in a reasonable manner. That also conducive to provide a sustainable fiscal and financial support. And we also focus on the efficiency of our support for the 5 priorities that showcase the high quality development in terms of technology finance, green finance, inclusive finance, and we'll also focus on the loans that PSL already reimbursed. That's around the 500 billion yuan that will conducive to the green development and also will boost the transformation from old to new growth drivers as well economic structure adjustment, a transformation upgrading. And we also would see that a steady transition, and also make sure that the RMB exchange rate maintained in a stable manner. And because of the limitation of the financial, currency exchange rate differences, and we got the financial institutions to lower the interest rates in February. The 5-year loan rate LPR dropped by 0.25%, which is the largest decrease since the introduction of the LPR. And we also would like to leverage the role of the interest rate and also we will diffuse the risk of the over adjustment of the currency exchange rate. So we see the increase of aggregate for M2, the aggregate finance maintained at 8.9% and at 9% and at 10.1%, and in line with the market expectations. Second, regarding the 5 priorities, by the end of February, the inclusive finance increased by 23.1%, manufacturing, long-term manufacturing loans and high-tech manufacturing long-term loans increased by 28.3% and 26.5% respectively. For the financial resources also channeled to the high-quality development sectors. Third, we also lower the cost of financing. Second, for the weighted average interest rate, 2.87%, lower by 0.01 percentage point. Exchange rate, RMB to US maintained at the 7.3. Going forward, monetary policy, so we believe we have ample room and the tools that help us to adhere to the prudent monetary policy, and will also help us to further gain the initiative in managing the rates. And we will also channel focus our attention to the high-quality development, especially the high-quality manufacturing sector, and we will also to well manage the financing markets, make sure that we maintain the liquidity and also lower the cost of interest rates, and we'll focus on the 5 priorities, and also to make a good use of the idle funds, and to balance the short-term and long-term the relations between the stable growth and the financial risks. And now the floor is open for questions. Please identify your media affiliation before raising questions. 21st century business health rights. And my question regarding the government loans. Last year, we issued 1 trillion yuan, and how is the result of that treasury bond, and also this year, we will also introduce about the long-term government loans, how that will play its role. First, about that, the 1 trillion RMB government loan, that's basically for the disaster recovery for the northern part of China and for NDRC, and we worked with relevant departments to establish the working mechanism. We selected the factors needed as well as the projects. As for February this year, NDRC has already released the list of the government loans in 3 batches. And that will also channel to the 15,000 projects. So for that, we'll basically for the projects in the water conservancy sectors, for flooding manufacturing, and among that, we will also spend around the 200 billion for the disaster recovery in Beijing and Tianjin. All these projects will help to increase the disaster-stricken areas, increase their capability in preventing the disasters. In terms of the process of projects, right now we have the allocation mechanism managed by NDRC, and also we focus on the process of different projects. Right now, the projects is implementing an accelerated manner in Beijing and Hebei. Right now, more than 48% and 45% of the projects are already in process, and we will also urge the different projects to start as soon as possible. And these projects should be started for the first half of this year. Especially for the projects as for the post-disaster reconstruction that should be finished before the summertime. Regarding the super long-term loan, and in the work government report, we will release the long-term government loan that will specifically for the key national strategic projects based on the arrangement of the CPC Central Committee and State Council. NDRC will work on the detailed plans, and also we will draft the requirements. We need to think about the investment as well as the construction. So we will think about that the key issues hindering the process of the national rejuvenation and rural revitalization. Going forward, NDRC will work with different departments with approval of the State Council, focus on the innovation, the urban and rural development, the safety of food and energy, as well as the high-quality development. And we will plan different projects in different areas, and we will support a range of high-quality development projects, and we will also introduce the policies and the measures to remove the barriers, make sure that all these projects can be carried out in an effective way. And third, as the Central Economic Work Conference mentioned, we should increase the effective use of the government bonds. We talk about that the 1 trillion yuan loan issued last year, and also the 1 trillion loans of the super long-term government loan this year. And we also have that the 3.9 trillion yuan of the special local government loans. So this is quite a large pool of loans, and we should better leverage all these loans and to drive loans and investment made by other sectors. That's also our key priority this year. So we will do the followings. First, we will do a good job in preparation. So we will have the project pipelines and also the studied well in different projects. And second, And we also need to guarantee the different factors in terms of the financing as well as the land usage and environment, the checking. And we will continue to enlarge the sectors received the local government loan, and we will also to see that we will better leverage the role of the local government loans. And third, we will also build up a sound mechanism and system so that will coverage the preparation, the fiscal study, and also the supervision of the projects. Thank you. Economic Daily. For the first 2 months of this year, what areas received the credit? Thank you for your question. Since the beginning of this year, PBOC has fully leveraged the role of the aggregate and the structure of a credit. We also focus on the technology innovation, the manufacturing infrastructure, and other key areas and the weak links related to people's well-being. So far, we have seen the aggregate of credit is stable, and for the outstanding loans is increased by 10.1% for the first 2 months. The new loans, 2.37 trillion yuan. We have seen some new highlights. First, for the key sectors related to national economy, maintained at a higher level. For the manufacturing, its loan increased by 28.3%. For the high-tech manufacturing, increased by 26.5%. That's already introduced in my opening introduction. For high-tech and for the SME in the high-tech sector, increased by 14.2%, 18.5%, and 21.4% respectively, and higher than the loans released in the other sectors. And its proportion also continued to grow. And second, about the fiscal resources, let's channel more to the weak links. For the inclusive loans to SMEs, increased by 21.3%. For the first 2 months, it increased by 1 trillion yuan. That's around 110 billion more. For the agricultural loans, increased by 14.5%, 4.4 percentage points faster than the other loans, increased by 2.53 trillion yuan. For private sector loans, increase in scale and quantity, and the balance of loans in this sector increased by 11.6%, 1.5 percentage point faster than the average. Thank you. South Trollipan. So we talk about the government loans maintained at the 3%, government debt at 3%. So about that, the arrangement in the fiscal resources. Thank you. I believe that's a question to me. So your question about how that the fiscal policies can support the stable increase of the national market. We talk about that should based on the different policies. If we talk about the fiscal policies, then this year we should implement that the requirements mentioned by the 2 sessions as well as the Central Economic Work Conference. So you talk about that we should also to strengthen the policies. So we talk about that's the long-term national loans, the loan, the preferential policies. So we talk about this year, the government loans are 3%. That's 4.6 trillion yuan. So 180 billion more than the budget. So the expenditure around 28.5 trillion yuan, 1.1 trillion yuan more than last year. So we spend more this year as arranged. And considered the Q4 last year, we issued the government loans of 1 trillion yuan that will be used this year. So the effect will also be seen this year as well. And also for government-specific loans for local government, increased by 100 billion. And also we have 1 trillion super long-term government loan, as well as the tax and fee cuts policies that will also help us to reach the goal set for this year. So I'm also happy to give you a piece of good news. And we talk about that people focus a lot on the issuance of the government bond. That's also quite popular in the market. So for the overseas investors, continue to increase holding the Chinese government bonds. And about the sustainable fiscal support, so we focus on the coordination of the economic growth as well as the diffusing risks, and who balance the government loans, make sure that a stable development in the long term. Even in the COVID-19 time, our government deficit is maintained at a reasonable level. It's within 3% for 2024, also arranged by 3% in terms of government deficit. So we believe that the Chinese government, the deficit level is reasonable and will also help to meet the requirement of the economic recovery as well as the long-term sustainability of fiscal policies. Thank you. CMG. In the recent years, we have continued to increase investment in the social sectors. So what kind of the key projects we have done and how we can better safeguard people's well-being and also fill in the weak links. Thank you. The people's well-being is at the center of our work. In the RC, earnestly implement the work arrangement of the CPC Central Committee and State Council, and we also adjust the public service requirements. And around 200 billion RMB invested in the education, employment, public service, fitness, the elderly care, and the children care, as well as other sectors related to the weak links of the people's well-beings. In terms of education, we improve the school conditions and support vocational schools to build a training base. And we also continued to increase the capability of the schools in a central and western part of China, and also talking about the medical services assessment. And we support high-quality development of public hospitals and for the women and the children. That also our focus. And we also focus on the carrying forward of the fine tradition of the traditional Chinese medicine. And we also focus on the building of the infrastructure construction. Third, we also support public service as well as development of the national fitness campaign. We continue to increase the service construction for the people in need, and also the retired and the armed forces, and also build the infrastructure in the fitness sector. And fourth, we focus on the service provided to elderly and the little ones. And we also built a nursing house and the facilities. And also we focus on the daycare center as well. Fifth, regarding the increasing of people's the high quality of life, and we built the different national parks, and we also to build the cultural heritage, the products, and also we have introduced the plans for embedded service sectors in communities. So far, still, there are a lot of room for improvement. So compared to the expectation of and the needs of people, there is still a gap to catch up going forward. We will continue to redouble our efforts to improve the public service system and increase the quality, people's quality of life, and we will get the different departments and to implement the 2023 the working plan, and we will also invest more in the people's well-being sector, leveraging the role of the government spending, and we will also fill in the weak links, increase the quality, and also improve the people's well-being sector, introduce more the heartwarming services and projects in order to increase people's sense of gains and happiness. Paper. For the first 2 months, we have seen that the investment by the private sector actually is turned from right to green, and how we can better leverage potential of a private investment. The private investment actually a very important part in the foundation of the national development. For NDRC, we have introduced a range of the measures and policies to boost the private investment. Since last year, we introduced 17 measures in this regard, and also help to solve the questions encountered by them. And we also promote the participation of private investment in the products. As for February 29th, the products with private investment totaled 2 trillion yuan for the more than 6,000 products. For the first 2 months, the private investment increased by 0.4%, and is also changed its negative curve to positive one. So we saw a quite good momentum of growth. And going forward, the NDRC will continue the work plan made by the ACP Central Committee and State Council. We will continue to expand in a stable manner of private investment and to maintain its growth momentum. To that end, first, we will provide a enabling environment to boost investment by private sectors. Right now, we're working on the policies, especially the legislative policies, in order to provide a stable and predictable environment. And second, we also expand the room of investment. We work with local governments and relevant industries to better use the funds provided by the central government, and also we would guarantee a smooth implementation of the different projects. And third, we will build up a project tool base, so that we will provide a guarantee in terms of land and financing, make sure that different projects can be carried out when it's ready in a fast manner. And we will also to encourage the private sectors to participate in different projects. Thank you. Employment is the base of a national economy and also draw attention of the society. What's your support with China Daily? So what kind of the measures do we have to boost employment? This is the work in our top priority. So that's also at the strategic level. As we know that a job brings income, that income brings the consumption, and consumption boosts the domestic demand. So for the fiscal department, we've strengthened our efforts in increasing jobs, especially giving the special attention to the undergraduates, migrant workers. And we will do the following this year. First, we will also stick to the principle of the job first. When we make the fiscal and monetary policies, we will also channel more to the job market. For the budget, it's a range about 66.47 billion yuan. And second, and we will also introduce the structural tax and the fee cuts, and also to reduce the burdens on the enterprises. And we will also to return the tax and also the unemployment insurance made by the companies, because they are doing good in maintaining the payroll stable. And third, and we will also to give the support to the SMEs, and we'll leverage re-lending and re-discount policies, and we'll also to encourage the policies weighted more to the labor-intensive sectors. That will also help us to drive around the 1.3 trillion yuan, creating 12 million jobs. So that's what happened in SMEs. And for the schools, we'll also encourage them to cultivate the students in terms of building their capability in innovation. And for them, if they start their startups, and they will also receive the favorable policies. And we encourage the enterprises to create more jobs. And we'll also give them a discount for the enterprises, providing jobs to the key targeted groups, such as the graduates and migrant workers. These enterprises will receive the preferred policies, and we will now have the different campaigns. For the fiscal department, we will give them a special support to encourage the undergraduates to work at the grassroots. And we continued to provide support to the people out of poverty, as well as in the rural areas, and to consolidate the results of the poverty alleviation. And that's our focus this year, and that will also play its role in boosting job creation. Xinhua News Agency, by the end of February, M2 and also the aggregate number already released. That reflect the true picture of China's economy and how we read all these numbers. So let me take your question. The Central Economic Work Conference, as well as the Government Work Report, always mentioned that we should maintain the M2 and also the aggregate in line with the macroeconomic growth. The goal for this year is the GDP increase by 5%, CPI increase around 3%, so nominal increase around 8%. By the end of February, the aggregate financing M2 increased by 9% and 8.7% respectively. All in all, it's not low number. So in step with the expectations, that also showed a counter-cyclical adjustment. For these numbers, we can understand them in the following angles. So first, the base number of last year quite high. And last year, as the beginning of the post-COVID time, the macroeconomic policies delivered its role. By the end of February last year, the M2 increased sharply by 3.7%. Now, the national economy continued to recover, and the exports and the manufacturing also higher than expectation. Based on the high number, we have seen the aggregate financing also maintained at around 9%. That's quite high. And we also focus on the loan issuing. As last year, we have seen that the loan issuing supported the economic recovery. We not only focus on the aggregate, we also focus on that the stable issuing of the by the fiscal instruments. Make sure that the fiscal institutions not give out all the loans, the credit, all in once at the beginning of the year. And third, we will continue to improve the usage of idle funds. So the Central Fiscal Work Conference also talk about that we should better leverage the fiscal resources that run in a low effective manner. So we also find the potential of the idle funds that can be better used to support real economy. Right now, this is a quite large size of the funds. With the transition of the drivers from the old to new, we will utilize all these funds to support development in terms of high quality. All in all, with the economic structure adjustment, transformation upgrading, we should not only focus on the aggregate number, we should also focus on the quality. So a prudent and a flexible environment that will also help us to channel more funds to the sectors realizing high quality development. We will continue to find the potentials to play and put the idle funds in a better use, and we also strike a balance and also reasonable growth of the
aggregate financing as well as M2. A financial newspaper, and we would like to build a law-based market-based market internationally, and what kind of the policies do we have to attract the foreign companies and foreign products to compete in China at a equitable manner? Thank you for your question. To improve the business environment is a key way to cultivate the growth drivers. And talking about the goals matters of the macroeconomy already released after the 2 sessions, has also showcased the confidence and the decisiveness of the Chinese government to improve the business environment. And we also released a working plan to attract the foreign companies and foreign companies' products, make their presence in China. So for foreign companies, a 1.4 billion market is one of their very important international market. So for us, we introduced the high-quality opening up. We believe that's conducive to invite the foreign companies to do business in China and also to promote Chinese companies going global. And we would like to open a large market of China to provide more opportunities to the global players. And for the MOF, we also work closely in this regard. And first, we continue to lower the tariff. Right now, the tariff is around 7.3% at a lower range internationally. And second, we have also actively participate in the cooperation, the bilateral cooperation, learning from a good practice, and also sharing China's opening up experience with others. Third, regarding government procurement, the products produced in China by the companies domestically or internationally, we treat them all the same. For a wrong practice, we also overhauled them. And fourth, we also keep a close touch with the rating companies, and also for the foreign companies, if they encounter some difficulties in terms of the tax refund, we also have a mechanism to receive their complaint and also the questions they encountered to help them resolve all these. And we also to speed up the auditing recognition among different countries. That's also conducive to the cross-border activities. 6, we also redouble our efforts in IPR production and giving a support and giving them fiscal support, and also through the whole chain, we help them to protect their rights, and we will continue to improve the business environment. And going forward, we will continue to protect their legitimate rights and interests, and to reduce the negative list and treat them as equal, and also continue to protect IPR to break the barriers in hindering the impeded flow of the productive factors. Thank you.
Market News International. The PBOC's balance sheet has expanded by over 5 trillion yuan since last August. The central bank's claims on banks has reached a historical high, but credit growth remains relatively slow. How can such a difference be explained? Also, what can the PBOC do to prevent idle funds from cycling inside of the financial system is another round of financial deleveraging necessary? Thank you.
请翻译一下。央行对存款类金融机构的债权到了历史新高，央行的资产负债表去年8月以来也扩张了5万多亿，但信贷增速相对较慢。如何解释这样的差异？针对资金空转，金融是否需要继续降杠杆？
Thank you for your question.
谢谢你的提问。
Actually, you raised two questions. One regarding the balance sheet. So the law-based growth for PBOC that we should maintain a adequate liquidity, and also the aggregate should be in line with the price and expectations as introduced. The PBOC practice our activities, we will utilize the triple R, the open market operation. So we talk about the triple R that will help to release liquidity. So for the, as you mentioned, that we will also take initiative to cut more triple R, which means that will be also have a less expansion of balance sheet. So for which tools we like to use, that should based on a different condition, and also that in fact the quantity as well as. But all in all, the goal is to realize the sound environment. And for the QE and the QT, that's also quite catching the eyes of the other central banks, because the triple R is around, there are is 0, so they basically to expand their balance sheet to release liquidity. So for us, we maintained the triple R at around 7%. So as you mentioned, that's the monetary transmission policy actually plays a role, and right now it's also maintained at the adaptable balance level that also help us to realize high quality economic growth. As we mentioned about the foreign banks, they also have that the open market. So we talk about that expand or narrow your balance sheet, and also to get the liquidity in the open market. And also regarding your second question, we also actually have put a very close eye on the enterprises to re-lend or resave their loans, their funds, and to increase the efficiency of funds. So we could see that maybe that there are some focus on putting the inefficiently used fiscal resources to work, and we will make sure that we make more efficient use of idle funds. Last two questions, please. Reuters. PBOC mentioned recently to maintain the price stable, promote the price coming back is also a very important measures, and increase the domestic demand, and also to diffuse the risk of deflation, and how you make sure that you reach the goal set for this year. Thank you for your question. Regarding price, from monetary policy, let me give you some explain. In terms of the quantity, as we mentioned, we need to make sure that the aggregate financing should in line with the expectation on price. So that also showcase our
adjustment on price, that would like to use the monetary policy to adjust price. The annual goal is to maintain a stable price and also the moderately recovery of price. For GDP this year is 5%, and the CPI are goal at around 3%, and aggregate financing and M2 should not be lower than 8%. That's all considered at the 3% price level. So in terms of the interest rate, and we will also promote the market-based interest rate mechanism to lower the interest rate cost, and as well as LPR. That's all conducive to lower the aggregate financing costs and also to boosting the potential consumption as well as the effective investment. That also help to maintain the stable of price. And going forward, people also will get the financial institutions to evaluate the different products to maintain a reasonable size and quantity, and also worked among the different policies and to increase the job creation and to improve the mechanisms and also to let consumption to drive domestic need to strike a balance between supply and demand. So that's all talk about that's a moderately recover of a price. Last question, please. For the first 2 months, the equipment manufacturing and high-tech manufacturing much have faster than the average. So what's the current development of these two sectors, and what's the plan to cultivate the drivers in the innovative industries? So when I introduce about the 2 months performance, the manufacturing sector has seen a rapid growth, increased by 9.4%. 5.2 percentage point faster than the average, and become a very important pillar to support a stable growth of economy. And manufacturing increased by 10%, and faster than the average. All these numbers showed that China continued to speed up the transformation of the industries. For the technology, high efficiency, high quality industries right now showed that a positive momentum of growth. For the equipment manufacturing, high-tech manufacturing growed faster. That's all we call to the investment. So the decision behind first is the central government guidance, and also showed that the confidence of the enterprises. So in terms of central government policies, NDRC introduced the 2024 edition of the catalog, and also introduced the action plan to increase the manufacturing sector, and also to build a stronger cluster of the high-tech manufacturing, equipment manufacturing. The value-added number of these two sectors increased by 8.6% and 7.45%. 1.6 percentage point and 0.5 percentage point higher than the average. The service robot and 3D printing increased by 22.2% and 24.9%. In terms of economic results, the revenue of the equipment manufacturing increased by 4.1% and 2.4 percentage point faster than same period last year, providing a strong support to the relevant enterprises in this sector. Going forward, NDRC will earnestly implement decisions made by central government and to cultivate a new productive factor. And first, we'll strengthen the market entities and let innovation drive technology development, as well as give the a role to the leading enterprises and also to cultivate the enterprises in the middle and also to give support to the startups. And second, we will continue to implement the existing policies to launch a reasonable driving clusters. And third, we would like to create the ecosystem. So we cultivate talent, introducing the investment and the resources, and also to expand the source of investment and create innovative clusters internationally. I believe all these policies and the measures will help us to cultivate a new driving forces to boost economic development in a high-quality manner. Thank you very much. That's the end of today's press conference. Thank you.